Welcome to CBBT maintenance segment, and today we're in the heart of the industrial area at the Dobie body shop. Why are we here? Well, imagine you just bought your car, you serviced it, you financed it, but just by sheer bad luck, you get into a fender bender with one of the matatus. Where do you take your car for proper body work? That's why we're here today on Big Boy Trev and Mr. Murigi. Tell us about the Dobie paint shop. What process are we going to experience right now?
So the first thing to note is the fact that they've opened the body shop to the general public. So it's no longer just Mercedes and Volkswagen. It's no longer just the German cars that can be fixed here. Your car can be fixed here in the event that you have an accident or you need some paint work to be done. So we're going to take you through the entire process from start to finish. From when you walk in over here, you sign the job card, what happens to your car once it goes into the back shop over here, that international level of quality that you've known to come and love from Dobie is now available to you, and we're going to take you through that right now.
Welcome to Dobie Body Shop. My name is Mungai. Once the customer comes to the workshop, he or she is received by a service advisor who picks the car, checks the car in. Then from there we we assess the vehicle as per the customer's complaint or any other thing that we might note needs attention. From there, the customer is given an estimate that we give the cost for repairs and the cost for the parts that are required. Then from there, now the car is driven into the workshop and we start our process.
So when we say workshop, it obviously means there's a lot of stuff that is being done here. So if you could just take us through what exactly the services that are being done over here. Can I bring it for buffing? Is it painting? Is it accident repair, big accident repair, small accident repair? Which vehicles can we do? So we can just start with basically what are the services that are offered here.
In our Dobie Body Shop, we have several services that are offered. Obviously, body work is a cycle. It is a well-coordinated sequence of steps that all of us follow to give the customer the best we can, or the best in the market. First of all, the things that we offer in our workshop, we do buffing, we do interior cleaning, we do paint work, we do jigging, also jigging for the heavy commercial vehicles. And previously we were restricted to our franchise vehicles, but now we are open to every other car in the market because the paint work and body work is all the same. Now we are open to every car, every customer.
How long do some of these repairs take? Can I, in the event that I had a small accident just over here, this roundabout, just come and get the bumper fixed by itself?
Yes, we have our rapid repair bay. If there is a scratch, small accidents, we can sort them in one day, and by the end of the day, the customer picks his car.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of insurance, because a lot of the time when people have accidents, they have to, of course, go through the insurance dealers. How many insurance companies are you guys working with?
We are not restricted to the number. Any insurance company is welcome. Of course, the insurance procedures takes a bit longer because the customer must raise the claim. We send our estimate, it is approved by the insurance, then we can start our usual process.
So the next step in this process is estimation. It's incredibly important that you understand just how much your repair is going to cost, and it is a factor, of course, of the work that needs to be done. Now, Dobie has invested in a brand new system that will give the technician the tools that they need to make sure that they can do the job right, and at the same time figure out exactly how long, what processes, which steps need to be done for that repair to happen. So I have with me Mary from Dobie, who's going to take us through this fantastic new system that Dobie has in offer. So Mary, tell us about this system and how it helps in this process.
Okay, we have an estimating system from South Africa, which is called Audatex, and this is an online platform that enables us to carry out quotations accurately based on manufacturer's timelines.
Okay, so you basically now will get the details from the car that has come in and then feed them into the system, and then what happens next? Okay,
depending on the scope of work to be carried out, the customer will identify what areas they would like us to repair on the vehicle, and with that, we get the chassis number, we feed it into the system, and the system is able to get background information on the vehicle, on the specific vehicle.
How long does it take for an estimate to come out?
Using the Audatex system, since everything is inbuilt in the system, it takes just a couple of minutes. It's for you to pinpoint and click what needs to be done, and the system will generate all the information for you.
So, Mr. Mungai, we are here at the AeroCure. This is one of the most highly advanced chassis aligning jigs available in the country. So what is happening here? We are going to have a demonstration here. There's this particular car that had been involved in an accident, and apparently this particular car has some chassis damage at the rear. So Mr. Mugai, take us through what will happen here at this aero jig.
Once we confirm physically where the damage is, you come and feed the VIN number to our system. Then we have this machine here. The machine is codeless. It has a microchip that communicates with our system, this side. Then this part of the machine will go to 0 points. It is put to the 0 points and gives us the actual values at that moment and how much the chassis has bent. From there, we confirm from this side the specified values from the manufacturer. Then when it indicates here in red, it shows that the chassis is offset with how much millimeters. Then we start jigging. When we jig, there is a buzzer that gives some sound when it comes to the values that are given from the manufacturer. One thing about it, it gives the best accuracy. Then it is the same that we use for aluminium welding. Because aluminium welding is it is done at certain temperatures. Yes. So we do it here. The gases that are produced after aluminium welding, the gas that we use is argon. Yes. When it mixes with the oxygen, it gives a gas that is irritating. So we have created a mechanism to make it escape as fast. Then if it is done in open, there's a high chances of it can reignite. So it is done here, then the gas, we have a vacuum somewhere at the corner there that clears the gas as fast.
The paint process, that is so important. You are aware that many people will take their cars to the roadside garages and don't have the best paint work. So what kind of paints do you use to ensure that the quality that you have when the car is coming out is at international level?
Once we do the chassis jigging, the car comes out, it goes to the preparation bay. In the preparation bay, we have first quality primers, first quality products that we use for preparation. It goes through the process of preparation for some time. Then we take it to our spray booth, where we use first quality paints that have a guarantee for some time as per the specifications from the manufacturer.
Now for our viewers out there, sometimes somebody will wonder, will they get the correct color for my car? Do you have a computerized mixing system for paint?
Yes, we have a computerized system. We have our bank here, where we do our color mixing as per the color code of a particular vehicle.
Now, once that is done, take the car in, it's been scraped, put in the first coat, second coat, third coat. How long is the process and how does the kiln help to ensure that the paint comes out in that pristine condition that we also desire?
The equipment, first of all, it is computerized. Yes. Secondly, it is made in a way that there's no dust that can get into the kiln. That thing, immediately after paint work, we give it the shortest time. Yes. We do baking, baking that will last like 40 minutes. Then the car will get out and with no problems related to paint work.
Now, once that is done, we assume that sometimes the car comes out, but you need to have some buffing and some trim checking, ensuring that the paint is very consistent on different areas. Do you have quality control to ensure that the paint is actually very smooth along the body panels? Just
to take you back a bit. Yes. Every stage of our process, we do a quality check after every step. If it is a panel beating, the person who is working on the car must sign against to commit himself that he's satisfied whatever he has done is the correct job. Then there's the immediate supervisor who confirms it is done correctly. Then it is given to the next stage, where it is received by the supervisor, and the supervisor now confirms that he's ready to take that job. Finally, when the car is painted, we have a good end product.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev maintenance segment. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or queries, do not hesitate to write to us as seen on the social media handles below. But in case you're wondering where the body shop is, it's located along Lusaka Road. Please visit, they'll give you a detailed analysis of what your car needs. And of course, they'll ensure that the bodywork comes out supreme, like brand new. So until next week, be safe. Now this is the key to Suzuki's brand new Espresso mini hatch. Do you reckon it will take the competition to the likes of the Renault Kwid Climber? Let's find out. Now the first thing we want to do is to check out the design of this brand new vehicle. Brand new for Kenya for 2020, and I can tell you for a fact, as far as the design aspect is concerned, Suzuki have actually done a lot to ensure that this car gives that butch look. Now this design, as you can see here, it's tall and of course wide to give you that impression that it's a big car. The main thing that you can see from this car is this particular part. This lower lip actually shields the radiator. That is actually just enough to cool this particular vehicle. Now moving over to the side profile, this is where matters get very interesting. This is why you see Suzuki's magic trying to package a sub 5-meter vehicle to have so much space. What they have done essentially is to push the wheels to the outer extremities with short overhangs to have enough space within the cabin. Now from the ground clearance perspective, you can actually see this Espresso actually has 180 millimeters of ground clearance, and this is courtesy of a long stroke McPherson suspension and of course torsion beam suspension at the back. That's to give that ample ground clearance that you can actually do and go some bundu bashing, not extreme bundu bashing, but a bit of off-roading you can do it, and Mr. Murigza gave us a lowdown about that. Now moving over to the back, this is where it gets very interesting. So what Suzuki have done is to employ the rear tail lamps slightly higher up so that in case of an emergency or you have a fender bender, the lights are out of it. Now it's time to find out, has the cabin have that je ne sais quoi, that sharpness of an Espresso? We're going to find out as I step inside and have a look on how it is inside, courtesy of cars with Big Boy Trev. So guys, you've seen from the walk around the styling aspect of the Espresso. It's sharp to the point and chic. Big Boy is actually very comfortable on this front seat, as you can see, and it actually comes down to the way Suzuki have packaged the Espresso. They've been at it for many years with doing the Jimny and many others, but this one is just but amazing. Let's start with the dashboard. As you can see, interesting design. The first glance, as you see, it's circular in the middle, so it reminds me of the Mini, but also reminds me of my digital watch. Now moving over to the radio, this is where matters get interesting. This particular model is a pre-production model, so some things are missing, but will obviously make their way to Kenya with the first batch of vehicles that are coming soon into the market. Moving over to the climate control, as you can see, it actually is a proper climate control system. It's standard but has all the functionalities that you may need. Right below, you do have a 12-volt socket you can power your devices, and of course there's a blank switch which actually is one that is used to use that start-stop technology, which is coming as standard on the higher spec model of this particular vehicle. Remember, this is a pre-production vehicle that CMC have, so it will have all the various details that you desire. Now below it again, plenty of cubby spaces because this is a mini hatch. There's that, so you can actually put your cell phone over here, and 2 cup holders that can actually fit your Espresso. Now moving over to the gearbox console, and then we have this interesting design. This gearbox is called the 5AMT automated manual transmission. As you can see, if we move over to the steering wheel, this is where matters become very interesting. 3-spoke with the Suzuki logo on it, and of course it's very comfortable. It doesn't have tilt and telescopic on this particular version, but even as you can see with the sitting position that I am in, I'm actually very comfortable and I can drive this car for long. The seats actually, I love them because actually they're not slung low, they're actually placed higher up so that you have good 360 clearance, of course, of what you can see your surroundings, and of course the foam is very supportive, and even the material. That said, it's time for me to hand over the reins to Mr. Murigi.
When it comes to technology, the Suzuki Espresso has you covered. They've built in technology straight from the factory up till the showroom floor over here. So we have to start, of course, with the fact that this is built on a brand new platform. It's called Heart-Act. It is the basis for Suzuki cars going forward. All the new ones that are coming out. So that means you have a stiffer shell, the car is lighter, it has better performance and greater efficiency. Let's move to the front over here, and we have this brand new design like Trevor had mentioned. This incredible design that we have here that has a digital readout. No more of those 2 circles that guys are used to, one for revs, one for speed. All of that is just shown on this system over here. We, like Trevor had mentioned, are driving right now a pre-production version that has just been brought to Kenya to make sure that it passes through all the tests and everything. But the car that you're going to be able to buy in the showroom in the days to come is going to have a 7-inch touchscreen display in the front here with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and a reverse camera, which is amazing for this price point. But let's check into the back to see just how much space you have for the people and the stuff that you need to carry. Coming down to the back of the Suzuki Espresso, and as you can see, there's loads of space at the back over here for any passenger. You can see there's a grab handle here for when you're on the move, and you of course now have manual winding windows at the back. They're automatic of course in the front, but it's just to make sure that you are able to do exactly what you can do. Like we mentioned, espresso, focus, making sure everything is okay. So in terms of safety, we of course now have safety belts running in the back here, and this is built of course on that new platform, making it more rigid, more safe for you and your family. But let's check into the boot to see just how much space there is for the stuff that you need to carry in the Suzuki Espresso. Coming around to the boot of the Suzuki Espresso, and as you can see, you need the key to open the boot over here just to make sure that it's secure, but you can also use the remote under the driver's seat. But as you can see, it opens to reveal a very deep, very wide space, just like the rest of the car, a lot bigger than you imagine. 240 liters of capacity that's available over here, and when you open over here, you can actually have access to a full-size spare tire. If you need more space, you can lie down the rear seats just to give you more space, more capacity for the stuff that you need to carry. But right now, it's time for us to take this on the road, see what it is as a driving experience. Let's go.
So guys, today on Big Boy Trev, we're sampling the Suzuki Espresso. And from the walk around and the detailed cabin analysis, you can see that Suzuki have not spared anything to ensure that this particular car actually has what it takes to actually attract the young modern millennial. So where do we start? The first thing that we normally say is the engine. So what Suzuki have done is to employ the K series of engines. So this specifically is the K10B. Now it's 1000 cc. Yes, you might say it's small, but listen to this. 1000 cc 12 valve petrol with variable valve timing electronic control that produces 50 kilowatts and 90 newton meters, and all that power is sent to the front pause courtesy of a 5-speed AMT. For those who are wondering, AMT basically means automated manual transmission. So it's basically a 5-speed manual with an automated clutch that senses the shift patterns, and when the speed requires it to shift, it will shift automatically, giving you a flawless drive. Now, that is so amazing. Now, the chassis of this Suzuki Espresso, it's known as the high-tech chassis. Now that you probably find on the Ciaz, on the Tigger that we reviewed earlier, and the Celerio. Now this chassis is renowned for two things. One, it's very rigid and sturdy. It's actually 33% stiffer than the previous outgoing chassis that Suzuki employed on the previous Jimneys and other vehicles. So actually it's on one of the best designed chassis. So it's very sturdy and it's scalable. So you can actually use it on different derivatives of Suzuki vehicles that are available, including the Jimny that we're going to test out very, very soon. Now, one thing I do love about this Suzuki Espresso is its turning radius. You can actually park this car even at the tightest of corners, and of course, you're able to maneuver very easily in town. So as you turn, of course, the rack and pinion steering wheel allows this car to have a very small turning radius, as you can see here. And I'm able to turn pretty easily and pretty sharply, just, and this allows this car to be very nimble across town. And I can tell you, it's easy on the eye. It's easy to drive this car. The steering doesn't feel too tough, doesn't beef up. It's just the right amount of pressure that you can allow to turn the steering wheel very easily. Now, once again, up front you do have McPherson strut suspension with long stroke and of course torsion beam, just to allow that this car to have good ride quality on tarmac. And of course, because this car is raised, you do also have long stroke capability to ensure that you're also having a good ride while doing the maram stuff, the off-road. It's not an extreme off-road like the Vitara or the Jimny, but you can go to different places where you can actually feel that this car is able to go. So there's a mix of active and passive safety features. From the active front, you do have ABS and brake assist, which is very vital to ensure that you have enough brake pressure at any given situation. And of course, if all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the 2 airbags that are standard in this particular vehicle, plus an impact protection, side impact protection beam service that literally dissipates impact energy away from the cabin to ensure that you and your family are safe. What is so important is, again, to find out if it can do some bit of off-roading. So I'm going to hand over the reins to Mr. Murigi, who's also a resident off-road expert. We're going to go drive this car and tell you the feel on Maram surface, and then we do value for money.
So we know that this is a car that is built for the city, but we're in Kenya, and we know that at the end of the day, people are going to have to go off the road kidogo. So as much as it might not be the full, proper, crazy off-roading, what I've done right now is that I've turned off onto our small test track so that we can see whether this can handle itself where the tarmac stops. Now, this actually has very high ground clearance, about 180 millimeters of ground clearance. So we want to take it off the road over here just to simulate the situation that you would have if you were going Ushago and you needed to visit the people at the Shamba. One of the advantages of having the car being raised so high is the fact that the suspension has a lot more space to travel in, so it makes it very soft. This engine actually has quite a lot of power. It's very fun to drive when you're on tarmac, and as you can see, once you get into more slippery stuff, you can actually give it a bit of power, and it actually seems to be handling this slippery surface that we are on right now pretty well. I've had to give it a little energy here. We are sliding about a bit, but I have to say honestly, yeah, you should be able to handle a bit of mud, just a bit of dust, and a bit of a rough surface when you're in this car. But it's time for us to go back onto the tarmac and discuss how much this car costs, put it up against its rivals. It's time for value for money.
So guys, you've seen what the Suzuki Espresso is all about. Style, efficiency, and that je ne sais quoi we keep on talking about on Cars Big Boy Trev. Mr. Murigi, has it impressed you?
Well, I mean, it really is a very exciting car. The peppy engine, the bold design, I mean, the colors, the interior, the exterior. It's something that makes a statement. It's a bold statement. It's something that says you've arrived in this Nairobi. Yeah.
Now, as Kenyans would want to know, how much does it cost on the road? Wow guys, so you've seen this segment is growing exponentially, and of course you've seen from the taxi hailing apps, you've seen quite a number of them because of the efficiency. And now for the young, upwardly mobile millennial who's looking into getting a mobility from point A to B, then this should be an alternative. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Cars Big Boy Trev. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or queries, do not hesitate to write to us as seen on social media notes below. We'll get back to you next week. Signing out, this is Big Boy Trev.
This is Murigi. Drive safe
and be safe.